Round one. Go!
Hey, welcome to round one, the brand new Capcom Pro Tour Online pre-game show. Myself, Logan Sama, and F-Word are here. The CPT's back!
Long time coming, mate. I'll tell you what, Logan, I was sitting in my ass, bored as hell, waiting for something
working on
to turn
your
up.
impressions.
Yeah, working on my impressions that I don't really do too much on camera anymore because I like working for Capcom, Let's not go into details there, And I just thought to myself, when are we going to get some more high-level GGs? Surely you're going to prefer me talking about this game rather than watching me play it. You don't want to see my highlights, guys. Like, it's pretty bad. So I'm super excited to see that the CPT has survived in some shape.
Yeah.
This pandemic, this COVID-19 crisis, by the way, love and safety and healthy to all of you guys and your loved ones out there. I hope you're doing okay. And we're going to get some GGs. Some high-level GGs.
We are. We have 18 events across the season around the world to determine the 20 players. And that's the thing. It's a very interesting... We've reformatted the Capcom Pro Tour this year. Capcom Cup's going to be 20 players.
We should probably start talking about that, right? Because this is new to everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
been reformed, it's been revised, it's all new, all singing, all dancing, CPT Online. 20 players. Of course, the champ, IDOM, his name is already on the list, top of the list, qualified already. Can't take that away from him. No. Even if he wants to enter NA East, he's been pretty dominant in those online tournaments. We'll talk about that as we get a little bit into it. But he's already there. 18 events, and they're effectively they're all premiers. They're effectively all premiers.
Yeah, exactly.
The winner of each event automatically qualifies for the Capcom
Something
Cup.
You may be familiar with from a couple of seasons ago, right?
Yep, and that leaves one spot, which will actually be for the first time a player vote. So you'll be able to vote for a player that made it to Capcom Cup last year that isn't qualified yet. So if one of your favorites has not made it into the Pro Tour finals, into the Capcom Cup finals, you'll be able to back them.
I'm looking forward to all the video montages that are going to come out for that, because that's guaranteed to happen.
Getting the campaigns, the voting campaigns.
Yeah, get those campaigns, get those votes in.
Yeah, that's going to be
the DMs are coming in. Hey, you got to vote for me? Could you share this video?
Getting them promoted posts out there, boost them up on Facebook.
I love it.
Make sure
it's teaching everyone how to market themselves, so actually it's quite a good idea in terms of...
It's going to be exciting. One thing I do have to point out as well, each region, I believe, gets 2 events. So, us here in the EU will get 2 events for EU West, 2 events for EU East. Of course, the first event today, kicking it off, EU East and Middle East. 2 events per region. Now, if someone managed to win both events, someone already qualified, or even, for example, if IDOM wins an event in NE East, then the spot will go to the runner-up.
And that's the interesting thing, right? The guys who've qualified, so the automatic qualification from last year's champion, IDOM, and the guys who've already qualified from the previous of the 2 that they have within their region are still allowed to enter, which is something that was strongly debated before, but they've kept it that way. On that subject matter, Logan, how do you feel about that? Is that something you think is going to be quite fun to
I mean, that's something we're going to be talking about throughout the season, of course, because we're going to be joining you every single weekend, opening up the Pro Tour, so we can get hype and introduce some of these players who we're going to be seeing in these regions that you might not be familiar with. We're going to get into that as well. The brackets are all there. The tournament's underway right now as we get down to top 16, because Saturdays we're going to be broadcasting the top 16, and then Sunday we're going to be broadcasting the top 8 in full right here on Capcom Fighters. The issue
Tell you where I stand. I actually quite like it.
The issue of gatekeeping is definitely going to come. It's going to be very interesting.
Well, one of the guys we're talking about today at some point will have had this experience firsthand. But let's not go into detail now.
And in fact, the reigning Capcom Cup champion, IDOM, certainly has experienced gatekeeping in his time. He's got that long running rivalry with Punk, of course, that was just going there and picking up those points.
Ultimate blocker, man. Ultimate blocker.
So far ahead.
I mean, he did do well, though, to make, when it all finally came down to it, when it mattered the most, against his demon. Well, I mean, it's a bit of poetic justice, I guess you could say.
He won it in the end, yeah. So, but that's definitely going to be an interesting talking point. We're going to be debating a lot of points as well. But we are going to get into it because today, as I said, it's the first event. It's EU East and the Middle East, the very first event on the Pro Tour 2020. And we are going to take a look, firstly, at some of the killers, the big names in this tournament you need to be looking out for.
Round 1.
So Europe's always been really well represented as a region in the Capcom Cup. And in fact, last year we had our best ever shown, the most players we've ever had at Capcom Cup. And we're going to see 3 of them here today. And these are the 3 big names that really the world should know about. And that is, of course, Phenom, who finished 3rd at Capcom Cup, Big Bird, who was runner-up
at EVO, right?
exactly, and Angry Bird, who is, really recognised as being one of the players who put Zeku on the map as a real threat out there.
He's still arguably an emerging player when you look at how long his tenure has been in the game. So what a fascinating achievement.
Yeah, got his first ever tournament win. I think it was only
2018, right?
Yeah,
was it late 2018? First ever tournament.
Europe, I
Crazy.
Being there, so really impressive stuff from him. Of course, started out as an Akuma player. So let's start off with Phenom. Phenom's a player that you know a lot about. Tell us a little bit about his history and where he's at the moment, because I know you've actually run across him online a couple of times.
Oh, he's always online. It's interesting the way Phenom's taken this season. So, I'm really looking forward to seeing how he performs today, because he's made the conscious decision not to enter any of the casual online tournaments we've been seeing. So, massive shout out to the guys out there who have put these events together to make some kind of competitive format for players, but they're not official tournaments. So, Phenom, Infectious, and a few other guys also in the Japanese scene have been opting not to enter these tournaments, whether it's too high tech or to, I think we know for Phenom it's been more a case of identifying the right character. But sometimes entering a tournament can help you to do that. But he's made that decision. Honestly, he spends so much time on ranked online and playing in sets that I think he's going to be completely fine. And you've got to remember that Phenom was born in this environment. So before we saw him in Street Fighter 4 really start to come out and be that dominant player as one of the top 3 in Europe, he was always the online guy that you used to play. He was that kid that you're like, oh, this annoying kid that sometimes gets points off me, and he's risen from that. So he's very comfortable in that environment, and he can spend entire days in this online setting. Just to put that in perspective, he had 0 Warlord accounts before this. He's now ranked up one of his accounts to Warlord, and he's just, I think, last week ranked up his personal Phenom account, Phenom the Beast account, to Warlord 2. So he's got 2 accounts at Warlord.
He has 2 Warlord accounts.
2 Warlord accounts for Phenom. Yeah. That's how much time he's spending online playing this game. So if anyone's thinking, Phenom's not been at any events, he might be a bit rusty, think again. The challenge he's going to have, however, is the character dilemma, right? Because Karin has been changed. And
that's a really, really, really relevant point, because he had his best ever result last year. Messed around with a couple of characters before that. Nikali, the famous match against Daigo, really made people pay attention to this really talented young player from Norway. Then he was messing around with a couple of others as well. Started using Guile here and there.
We saw, yep.
But Karin last year, alongside the Nikali, of course, really helped him and propelled him to that 3rd place finish at Capcom Cup. Karin is still a threat, I feel. We saw Margot doing work with her in Topanga League. I definitely think she's still a threat.
Absolutely.
But he's been trying out a couple of other characters as well.
He has. He's been really experimenting, and he's made no secret as to why he's been doing that. He's been trying to figure out what he needs to do for this Pro Tour. You've got to remember that Phenom's from the era where we came up, where full-time FGC player wasn't really a common thing. He was a player who was sponsored, who maybe was heading, as a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, was heading towards some kind of full-time work. He did a lot of MMA at a very high level. Maybe he was heading towards becoming a professional fighter. Whatever it was going to be, it would have been coupled with Street Fighter. But as the game has evolved, he's one of the first, actually, with Nordavind, to land himself a contract as a full-time player. So he can afford to sit down and play this game 24/7 and figure out what that character is. And what we've seen so far in the last few months with him online, we've been monitoring him, is G, Chun-Li, and actually, surprisingly, a tiny bit of Cammy. It came down in the end, I think, to G and Chun-Li, and I think he's kind of sold now on Chun-Li.
I've definitely seen him putting up
Nikali.
a lot of Chun-Li clips online on Twitter. I've seen him gassing up his reactions, some of his hit confirms as well. So he's definitely feeling comfortable. And he's got a really good pedigree as well. Of course, he's the reigning EU East champion from last season.
Good
so,
shout,
as you said, he is so comfortable in this environment. We'll see how he does. Obviously, he's not the only killer in this tournament. There are 2 that we need to talk about as well. And so let's get into those next.
They're 2 of our own, mate.
Round 1.
So obviously, for the first time, they have rolled together the Middle East region and EU East, which has been a controversial decision, but we are considered one region, Europe, and for years we have embraced both Big Bird and Angry Birds.
They're two of our own. They're two of our own.
I have never been shy in
Big Bird and Angry
names.
Bird. They're two of our own. Listen, mate, I'm claiming that. Yeah, all right.
Exactly.
A lot of their
So,
trading happens with us anyway. You know?
let's talk about Big Bird, who is probably the first name on that list. Second at Evo, massive breakout year for him. Made the switch over to Rashid. A very, very smart decision from him, and he's just been impressing for the last 2 years. He has been not shy to experiment. We saw him pull out a birdie at Japan Cup, so he's been doing that. And obviously, we've all seen him having great fun online with G.
Yep.
He's been using Kage as well.
Kage a lot of time as well.
But Rashid is
I've
still
even seen him whip out Sagat for a number of his casual sets. He's had a Sagat there. Pretty solid looking Sagat as well.
And I have to give credit as well. So obviously, us being in the EU, we see a lot of the online stuff that's going on. They've been doing a lot of stuff in the Middle East as well. There's events in UAE, events in Dubai. They're streaming as well. So the Birds have been streaming on their own channel as well on Twitch. So they've been active in terms of content and having fun and exploring new characters. But I feel, having spoken to Adele prior to this tournament, he is mainly going to be focusing on Rashid, and maybe in player-specific matchups that he's got a lot of experience in from his Middle Eastern peers. He might pull out the G. He might even pull out the Kage. That is a potential. So, be a very interesting one to see. He's always.
That's interesting. So look. This is another debate that we can save for another day, but does Rashid need cover? Because I don't think he does. Right? I think Rashid is still, he's had a couple nerfs, yeah, all right. Some nerfs that at a high level will definitely affect his, like, I guess you could say, like, flowchart play. But Big Bird was always a more creative Rashid. He was never really a flowcharty kind of Rashid, right? So he's harder to predict. Why is it more boredom, or because character strength wise, I think Rashid's in a great place. He hasn't been changed too much. I was expecting a bigger nerf from him, to be honest. He's actually got a few interesting, arguable buffs as well. I don't know, like, where's that coming from? Where's this need to I can understand Phenoms. I'm not sure I get Big Birds just yet. I mean,
that's the fascinating position that we're in, and Angry Bird will actually be another one of these conversations where we're looking at players and they're playing in online tournaments. But no disrespect to any of these events, small stakes. There's nothing enormous on the line. So I can pull out my Kage that I've been messing around with online. The character's fun, I like him. I'm a great pro player. I'm good enough to beat the majority of people with many of the characters in the cast. Seth, super creative character. Really, really fun. I'll pull Seth out in an online tournament, on ranked, on stream. I'll stream Seth for a couple of weeks and have a great time. Might level up a bit as well. We have not seen these players have it out when there's something as important on the line as a place in Capcom Cup, and it'll be very interesting to see. I'm pretty sure we're going to see majority Rashid. We'll find out. Let's move on, though, to the second bird, the angriest of birds, as you said, the man who put...
It's an ironic name, because he's such a lovely kid.
He's lovely.
I've never seen him upset, ever. He's there in his flip-flop, toes always out, happy boy.
Super laid back.
Calls himself Angry Bird, though. So.
I don't know where it's
I guess he's angry in his gameplay, when you look at how
Perhaps. Started out with the Akuma, obviously really impressive, very high-quality Akuma player from the Middle East. Obviously, we were exposed to Big Bird first as a little kid. He was a teenager.
Yeah, very similar to where Angry Bird got exposed to us.
And then...
taking Ryan Hart to grand finals back in Street Fighter 4 when Ryan Hart was really putting time into that game. Annihilating Shen in Street Fighter 4. Was he 17 years old back then? Unbelievable.
But Angry Bird's really burst on the scene over the last couple of years and has just embraced Zeku and made Zeku work for him so well. But he's also added to that an Ibuki that was...
You got a little snippet of it last season, didn't we?
Let's be honest, the Ibuki at first was not great. It was a very...
sporadic.
It was an effective Ibuki.
But the thing is, look, this is the problem you have.
But he's a great player.
This is the problem. So even though his Ibuki did a lot of unorthodox and arguably random things, right? He's also an extremely talented player. So he was playing against Machabo. Machabo was like, what is this? Like, why would you press jab there? Backdash doesn't get you out of that string. And he was doing a few random things. Then suddenly, he predicted Machabo's V-reversal, backdashed and EX righted it. You're like, whoa. Okay. okay, so this is a kind of crazy Ibuki with a high level mind.
Yeah.
But what's happened since then is he's actually really polished this Ibuki now. And what
Yes.
he's got now is also very unique in the way he uses her. A really legitimate Ibuki. Really legitimate.
So I think that's what we're going to see mainly from him. You're going to see Zeku and Ibuki, but he has been playing a lot of a character that's kind of suddenly crept up round the side. And I think it may be because of the amount of exposure this character's got from players like Sako using him. But Seth, is that a character you want to take online when everything is on the line? So little room for error with that character.
Well, it's an interesting question.
Huge amount of reward.
You can look at it both ways, right? You're absolutely right. And I think a lot of players might think they're going to make that decision. They might believe when it comes to the CPT on the line, I'm going to pick my sub character that I've been in training mode with. You only experience is the greatest teacher. This applies to any scenario. In fighting games as well, when you're there at the character select screen, one game down, or maybe even 0-0, and you're up against someone who you've beaten a few times with Seth, right? Certain things start coming into play. Firstly, do you have the gall to do it? Secondly, what's the advantage to you to use Seth? But also, what's the disadvantage to your opponent? Do they know Seth, right? That could be the motivator, right?
That's a really good point, because Seth needs labbing. There's a lot of situations with Seth that you need to lab. Follow-ups from block strings.
Full screen meaties. Seriously, no. Yeah. I've died against a Scottish player called Brian, those who know him, right?
Yeah.
I've died against him a few times just thinking I could hold up back when he gets a knockdown full screen. But if he uses the V skill, it's a true meaty, and then I'm in the corner, I'm dead, meaty, just because I didn't know. Those little scenarios are going to matter in a tournament setting, 2 out of 3. So maybe
especially when you're seeing the creativity out there as well, because you've got one V trigger is significantly more stable than the other, but that orb, like we're seeing Sako do some crazy stuff with that orb, and the character's surprisingly solid as well.
It's incredibly solid.
Got a great low forward
and a great crouch medium as well. Really deceiving
crouch
range.
Medium punch is really strong as well. Great special cancels as well. You have to pretty much predict which cancel Seth's going to go for, because if it's heavy Tatsu and you let it ride, then that's a turn again. But if it's, you take the gamble there, because if you block light Tatsu, you're going to get a big punish. If it's medium punches, there's so many follow-ups.
And we're forgetting one of the biggest problems with this character to play against is I think he might have the best jump game in the game. I think his jump game is better than Cammy's. I actually think it is. From my experience so far watching and playing against, his jump game is more difficult to deal with.
Axe kick is very difficult for some characters. Well, it's difficult for everybody to deal with, but for some characters, that axe kick is a real abusable tool. And Seth's got a number of just real solids, great anti-airs, great damage off anti-airs as well. To be fair,
great damage off anti-airs, really good point.
Pretty reliable Oki. A great tick throw situation that Stan like.
Mid-screen. Why has he got such a good tick throw situation mid-screen as well?
Yeah, good V skills. Two good V skills. It's a very dangerous character, and I can see why people are putting Seth way up there. We might not see Seth at all.
And the reason for that, for me, the reason why we might never see Ibuki neither, is because, let's be honest,
it's all on
he's arguably playing one of the best, maybe in some people's opinions, the number 1, number 2, number 3 character in the game anyway, before he started investing time into Ibuki and Seth.
And that character's only got better.
And that character's only got better, exactly. So we're just speculating here. Yeah. I'm fascinated to see what actually happens.
And that's what I love about this show. We're going to be doing this every single week. We're just going to be talking, going into it, analysing. We're going to be, in the future, bringing you highlight reels, like really going in depth on these players, on these characters, and letting you understand. As the season goes on as well, we're starting to pull up head-to-head match figures. We'll be able to really look into the stats and hopefully start predicting with some kind of accuracy how things are going to go. We have a lot more stuff to look into as well, by the way, because the brackets obviously are going on now as we work our way to top 16, but we're going to look at how the brackets are laid out, some of these top players' paths, potential paths to top 8, who they're going to have to face. But what I want to do right now is something that's going to be very important each week, and that's to shine a light on some of those players that we know have got a great deal of talent, but maybe they're not as well known.
Hidden gems
out there. Exactly. Hidden gems.
I love my hidden gems.
Hidden gems.
Absolutely love them.
Let's get into some of those right now. So I thought it would be good to look at some of the players that maybe are familiar, well known in their region, but have not really made themselves, not broken out on the world stage yet. And of course, we are looking at EU East and the Middle East, so I thought it'd be cool to maybe sort of split it up. So we're going to have a look at some of the players from EU East that we're familiar with.
Yep. Bit of an emerging region, I've got to say, for Street Fighter 5.
Yeah,
right?
so for the longest time, it was like pretty much
Sweden and Norway, right? Mainly Sweden, really.
Even in Street Fighter 4, it was definitely
just Sweden.
It was just Sweden.
With a tiny bit of Norway.
And then there was this kid coming through that was really good with Dictator called Phenom, who this little kid is. And his dad, Veggie, who brought him around with him, who was pretty decent as well. But yeah, it was pretty dominant in Sweden. But Scandic regions have really come through. And there's a lot of players out there. Of course, historically, in Street Fighter 5, EU East has been very much dominated by the Russian players.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll talk about that a little bit later, because there's a number of strong players, I feel, that could have entered this tournament in this region that are not actually taking part.
Yeah, fascinated by that.
We'll talk about that, some of the notable players that are not involved, but we want to focus on the ones that you are going to see in the bracket today. So fighting out of the EU East region, we've got a couple of players that have definitely been prominent previously. We mentioned Veggie. I think it's all fair to give Veggie his credit.
Big up Veggie.
He does so much for the community.
He's still the best looking guy in the
Norway.
FGC as well,
he
surely.
He is by far and away, he is beating me comfortably into second place for best looking guy in the FGC. I have to say, so shout out to Veggie.
Nah, I don't know about that, though. You're not doing too bad, though. I'll give you that. You're not doing too bad, mate.
But yeah, Veggie, he was having a character crisis. He had a game crisis.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
It's been a tough transition for him, like it has been for a lot of people who
He had a game crisis. He loved Street Fighter 4.
So much,
He loved Zangief. Really wanted to make Zangief work. And then he fell in love with Birdie.
Sometimes it's that character.
And that character's changed a lot over the last 3 years, right? But I feel like now he's regained a lot of that happiness that he had with Birdie as a character. I don't know if you've noticed any of that.
I have, and he's also like, there's like the penny drops sometimes in Street Fighter 5 where you finally accept the game for what it is, right? For the beautiful beast that it is, the organized chaos with the really calculated, getting your meaties down every single time. These little things are so important. I feel like he's got that down now. So when I see him play, there was a tournament run. I can't remember what it was, like 6 or 8 months ago. We went on a big run and beat a few of the EU top players on that run as well.
He beat
and then he played Phenom.
once.
He put Phenom losers in a tournament. They always have to play, though, which is just a bit of a jinx. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're drawn in the same bracket again. But he's really come a long way, and he's the kind of guy that at an event like this, in an online setting, like if you're not careful, one of the top 3 guys could easily find themselves on the receiving end of an L to Veggie. Now, I believe he's not only playing Birdie now as well, right? I've seen him whip out, I think it's Colleen? I've seen him.
He was messing around with Colleen and Cammy as well, but
just for some of the tougher matchups, right?
He's in the last couple of months, I've really seen him just super happy with Birdie.
Okay.
I'm not sure if something's clicked in terms of how he approaches the game, because it's not like Birdie's got incredible buffs this season and he's shot up in power. If anything, that's not the case.
No, probably a bit the opposite. With an interesting V skill.
But he's having fun with the character. He's definitely one to look out for. There is a really interesting emerging region that I want to shine some light on, because I like giving countries that just completely go under the radar their due props.
Yep, absolutely.
Finland.
Yeah. What is going on in Finland?
Finland, something's happened.
What are they drinking in Finland?
And they've just
What's
exploded.
in the water?
I think for me, Lohai is probably the most prominent player in terms of profile. I'm not sure how he does head-to-head with all the other Finnish players, but he's out there.
Yeah.
Something like Salt Mine League, I'll see him hitting that up regularly, top 8 in frequently, getting to the finals often. So he's a very dangerous
he's
player.
rocking a good character to do it as well, right? Yeah, Lohai is actually one of the more scary guys to come across. He's got a very nice, when he needs to be dry and patient, he can be dry and patient, but he's got that organized chaos down to a T. And in that online setting as well, I could see him being a massive problem. But who else from Finland is really what I've been catching our eye? Because there's about 3 players from Finland that and there's a couple that I don't think are actually entering as well. that are just like blown my mind in how prominent they've become.
So there's another Finnish Urian called Shady, who was again arguably one of the strongest. He did really well, I think, season 1.
Didn't he have a close set with Takeda?
Fudo.
Fudo.
DreamHack Summer.
That's the one.
Season 1. And I think I remember that. I think actually being there, and I remember just seeing these guys representing Finland, and I was like, "Where have you come
Where are you guys from?"
There's another player called Dr. Gulag,
Dr.
who uses
Gulag,
Laura and G. So obviously he loves the mix-ups, and it's debatable whether he is one of the best players in Finland at the moment.
Yeah.
So there's 3 strong Finnish players, and I feel like for a lot of those guys playing out in the Middle East, they're not going to have. They're not going to know
absolutely.
how they play.
Spot
and
on.
those characters, like dealing with Urine in an online tournament format, is very, very difficult. It's all right if you got a nice solid zoning character and you're playing offline. That when that Urian starts dash in and chariot tackle in and EX knee dropping in, even like just normal violent knee drop, it's so hard to deal with all of that. And of course, one of the best V triggers in the game, and a buffed V skill.
It's got to be V. It's got to be number 1, that V trigger for me. It's just ridiculous.
Definitely players to look out for. Low High, Shady, Dr. Gulag out of Phenom. There's another player that I don't think we've mentioned yet, but he is a storied career in the EU East online and offline as well. Atrosh.
Oh, good old Atrosh. He's won himself a ranking event, hasn't he?
When Birdie had that -2 EX on block.
Oh my god. Oh, don't bring it up.
And Atrosh had 2 bars.
and he was in V trigger mode as well.
It was a perpetual mix-up. And he's still really dangerous. He's still very dangerous. He hasn't really had the results that make him a real threat at the high level.
Atrosh is a CTO.
Yeah.
So as impressive as he is in this game, he's the CTO of a pretty well-established company over in, I think he's Swedish, right?
Yes.
In Sweden. Being a CTO and being able to play Street Fighter to that level, you think of guys like Bolt Strike, a GP, being able to play Street Fighter 5 to that level is not easy. So, in his career transition, I imagine his time dedication to the game has taken a hit. But when he gets going, when he's playing, the guy's a problem, right? We've seen him win ranking events before, so I'm really curious to see how he does here. I don't know how much he's been playing, but it's awesome to see that he's entered this particular event. And just before we go to the next player, I've got to say, as much as we are in a crisis, and this is like what we've ended up with, and I'm so grateful that we've got some high-level events coming up, right? There is a blessing in disguise here that we are getting exposure now, to more exposure than we would have had for some of these emerging regions and emerging players, like guys like Low High and Jomi. I mean, I don't think he's in this event, but there are names that you're going to see that you probably wouldn't have seen before that you guys are going to be pretty impressed by. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, let's keep it in Sweden as well. Reichmann's Barnet, which is an absolutely fantastic name.
That sounds like an English name.
As a Cockney, I'd think of Barnet. I think
Barnet.
But apparently, Veggie told me that it translates in Swedish to rich man's child.
Oh.
So I don't know if he's well off, but that's his name. But again, he's a player that I've started noticing through a lot of the online tournaments that otherwise I might not have seen before. I'm so focused on these, big international events that I just don't have the time to take in these online events. But I think he's an ultimate grandmaster or maybe a grandmaster level Manat.
Yep.
But I've seen him look very, very strong in online tournaments.
He's one of the stronger Manats in the EU scene online as well.
Yeah,
so
well, there's not a lot of them.
No, there aren't. But I mean, actually, there are a lot of them in the kind of diamond area. But
okay.
let's not get into those guys, right? But he's one of the more, what you see his name come up, you're like, okay, let's take this more seriously or I'm going to get bodied.
One other player that I think deserves highlighting before I get to Russia, because there's a couple of Russian players in there, but Julia. Julia's a player that was...
I don't think I know Julia. Talk to me.
Was an ultimate ultra platinum jury, right? Ultra platinum jury. Yeah. If you don't know the max up, you could maybe follow them.
But sometimes these guys are ultra platinum, but their skill level is not ultra platinum. It could be like...
Transition to using Honda. Oh. And suddenly ultimate grandmaster. So yeah, look out for Julia in this bracket.
I can see that making a lot of sense. And Honda, if you're not familiar with the character, just good luck, especially online, guys.
Last players that I want to throw in there are...
Did you mention Brick?
Did we mention Brick?
I don't think we mentioned Brick, man.
Brick from Sweden. He's on my notes. I'm here. I'm going through the notes.
Well, we mentioned Veggie when we talk about Zangief players, but the most dedicated Zangief player over the years has been Brick. And I'm sorry to tell you Zangief players out there, you stupenduses and you Isabasi Zangiefs, that You've lost the Zangief player, haven't you, Logan?
Yeah.
From what I've been seeing.
So from what I've seen in the last online tournaments, he's been using Nakali. Even in matchups that I thought like, yeah, you know what? Geef's actually all right in this matchup.
Yeah.
Pulled out Nakali.
Wow.
You
Never
know?
thought I'd see the day. Brick has been a dedicated Geef player.
Do you know
since
how I
4.
know he isn't really a real Nakali, though?
Why?
Because I saw the boxer play. And you know every single Nakali will tell you that, you know, the Nakali just can't V-skill against boxers, so there's no point ever playing the matchup.
Yeah. He still went. and he picked V-skill 1 as well.
But obviously, the boxer against Geef matchup is really stressful now as well for Geef. So he seems to be focusing on Nakali, which I feel is definitely an upgrade for him. It'd be very interesting to see how Brick does. Again, this is the first time we're seeing any competitive Street Fighter with big stakes on the line. It's a place in Capcom Cup. We don't know how it's going to go. We don't know whether, you know, we've been rope-a-doped by all these players trying out new characters online. We don't know what's going to happen, but I do know I'm looking forward to it.
I do know one thing as well, Logan. I'm going to call it now, right? Because I know it's going on right now as we speak or in a moment, guys. There will be upsets.
There will be upsets.
There will be.
And you will find out about that as the stream starts live in around about half an hour. You're going to be getting the top 16 all the way down to the top 8. I did say I wanted to shout out some of the Russian players.
Yes,
so
please.
we have got Sunmate in the tournament, who again is a prominent online player, Birdie, I think from Russia, and Phenom.
Phenom,
So
yeah,
not
you mentioned
Phenom,
this guy.
Xenon.
Yeah. The
Colleen
Russian,
player. Russian Colleen player. So another 2 to look out. So that's the Eastern European side. They're the players that I kind of wanted to pick out and highlight. Of course, we have got a really flourishing community, and that has been for a long while in the Middle East. And we're going to take a look at some of our picks of the players to watch out for in this bracket from the Middle East. So, the Middle East has definitely been a region that's gone under the radar. They've had some really talented players. I think they kind of broke out onto the scene when, you know, the likes of Daigo, or what have you, had to face players like Nox in the arcades, and were just really
TTR
surprised
as well,
with the quality of the players that they have out there. That were not travelling, they weren't hitting up these American events
Not a
too
massive
much.
community in either.
I think people kind of saw Latif, but he was more considered as an American player.
Kind of like
Now that you've got Big Bird and Angry Bird out there on the world stage, supported by NASA Esports, of course, travelling around and being real threats, people are kind of putting their eyes a bit more. And I had the absolute pleasure of travelling to Kuwait earlier before the world closed down.
Yeah,
unfortunately, the event that we were meant to be calling had to be called off due to the COVID-19
I ended up stuck
outbreak.
in Dubai when that
Yeah,
happened
it's
as well.
not a bad place to be stuck,
Yeah,
to
not
be honest
bad,
with you. Lovely
yeah.
part of the world, beautiful part of the world, beautiful people, and we're now starting to recognise some of their really talented players. So I don't know if there's any...
I'm glad they get something to showcase because, you
Yeah.
know, I've been like exposed to that scene. My job requires me to be in Dubai like every month as well. And I've done a few events out there as well, you know, in the gaming side, and there's a lot of talent out there. In fact, my Evo run last year was ended by one of the is White Ash from, I think, from the UAE. He's Pakistani, but he resides in the UAE.
Yeah, so White Ash is on the
White Ash
V
is one of
Slash
the
team.
guys yeah, exactly, the V Slash White Ash. Yeah, and he's one of the guys that's entered this tournament. And if you look at in terms of quality of player, right? You know, you have Angry Bird, you have Big Bird, who are really up there. You then maybe have arguably like Aziz, you know. And White Ash is kind of like alongside that kind of like Aziz level in this game. He's pretty solid. You know, he played carrying before, spends most of his time with Colleen now, which I think is a really strong character. Has a very effective Colleen, had a decent little Evo run as well. He'll be someone to look out for in terms of potential upsets at this event, I think, looking at his capabilities in the game.
Another player that whose name might be recognised, well, his alter ego might be recognised.
I know you're going to say.
It's GTR. GTR's been strong in that region for a while.
Long time.
And
GTR's the guy that beat Daigo in SF4.
Yes.
That stunned the world.
And
like, you know,
that is one of the reasons why he coined that name. Was it Dubai Go Ume Halal is
brilliant. You got it.
is his Ryu, but when he pulls out the evil Ryu, it was Dubai Go Ume Haram, wasn't it? So he's out there, and GTR has been very effective for a long time, but he's been messing around with a couple of different characters, known for the Ryu, but terms of a competitive aspect, I don't really. Let's be honest, we haven't seen Ryu in a top 8 for God knows how long.
Doesn't really happen.
He's been messing around with a couple of other characters. He used Karin, understandably very strong. Sagat as well is an enjoyable character to play around with. But the character that I've been told that he's been putting a lot of time in, focusing a lot of his time into, the character that he's arguably fallen in love with, is Gil. And that is not a character. We haven't. That's the cool thing. We haven't had any tournaments.
I can see that working.
You haven't seen any Gils in competitive yet.
This is that's the crazy thing as well. Like, how do you even judge a character without that high level tournament setting? It's pretty hard to tell. But now we've got these international ones happening. Gil, for me, on paper, I think he's very much slept on when I see people's tier lists. I think he's a bit slept on for me. Yeah,
I feel like Gil doesn't have the wealth of tools that Seth has, but Gil is really good. Really good. Definitely some weaknesses.
Some pretty up
questionable anti-air options, but when they work out, you feel good for hitting that anti-air, don't you? But yeah, I have been suggested that Sagat and Karin are going to be the go-tos, but Gil is definitely there as well. So that might be another one. Any other characters? Any other players? Sorry.
I think also looking at this this particular region, is it Volcano Russia? Is one of the guys from there as well?
Okay, so that's one of the top players from Turkey.
Yeah, exactly. So you think of Middle East, it kind of covers that area as well. And Volcano Russia, I don't know too well, but he's pretty well ranked online, and I see that he's registered for this event. So I imagine those guys are going to be familiar with him, and it's another person you need to keep your eye out for and watch out for any potential upsets either early or late on in this tournament as the brackets progress. But I'm actually quite surprised that there weren't more of the more notable names from the Middle East there. Was there anyone else that you picked up that has registered? Because there's a few that I know didn't register.
Definitely. There's a bunch of players from that V/Slash team. Zantetsu's a Poison. HMC Barney's a consistent regular player there. One of the players that I definitely want to look at was Evil Yoshi, who I enjoy. So Evil Yoshi, I've seen a lot of clips of Evil Yoshi's Cody, but apparently he's transferred over to Lucia and Kage, which are two characters that I kind of feel are both... They're a little bit incomplete still, even with the buffs that Kage's had. But maybe together? We'll see how it works. But the Cody was really, really exciting. I definitely enjoyed watching the Cody, but we'll see what happens. I hope that we see some of these cool characters.
I do too. I hope we see one of them go on a run, because that always makes these tournaments more refreshing, more exciting. When you have one of the more unique characters being played by an expert in that character go on a little run, maybe even get all the way to the end. I mean, we're still waiting for the day we see one of the more niche characters turn up and just win a tournament, right? And I think it's very possible in Street Fighter.
Oh, of course. I mean, look, the way that Idom pulled out Poison at Capcom Cup and made everybody respect that character. I mean, Justin had done some of the work. I think Canada Cup was when Justin drew for the Poison and people were like, yo, this character's legit. Idom, obviously the people at NLBC kind of knew about Poison.
Of course.
Poison's a really good character, and I think Zantetsu's the player that uses Poison. I do apologise if I've got that mistaken. It's kind of hard to find archives and stuff these days. But Poison's a character that has definitely been put on that map, and I'm just waiting for someone else to come through and really make us kind of, yo, this character's legit, you know? And I feel that's possible for a lot of characters in this game. Absolutely. Because besides maybe 2, 3 or 4, I mean, even then, some
also
of those...
importantly, this iteration of the character too, because some of the characters who have been considered pretty ordinary or strong but not relevant, maybe in a position now where that's no longer the case, where they're starting to be contenders, but we haven't had the tournament setting to really judge it. We haven't had the exposures to judge it. So I think we could be seeing some emerging tier interferences with some of these events as they go through. In fact, having the CPTs back for us to qualify that.
Absolutely. I mean, there are some notable absences that we have mentioned. So let me start. It's the EU East. Here in EU, we used to call the EU East online tournament the Ras Invitational, didn't we? Let's be honest, because he would win it every single time.
Yeah, he did have a close sweat with Swag Skeletor one time, but it didn't matter.
So both of those two, actually.
These are the two dominant players from Russia, right? For EU East.
I can't find them in the bracket unless they're going under new tags. They're definitely two notable absences. Another notable absence from Eastern Europe, and that's a player that I'm absolutely astounded isn't in the bracket is Chommy, who's one of the...
He's got to be the best Ryu in Europe,
He was
right?
the first Warlord rank Ryu
in the world.
Yeah. Definitely a very, very strong player, but he is not there. He's a player that I've not seen travel to
He's been
events
entering some of the local events, though. I've seen him enter.
We managed to convince him to come on a Winner Stays On online.
Winner Stays On, I saw that as well.
In the Battle Lounge. So he's about. And obviously, he's a Warlord rank Ryu. He plays. He's there, but he won't be in the bracket. And out of the Middle East, notably missing Aziz, who is definitely one of the strongest players in the region. But all respect to him, he has literally just graduated and got his degree.
Oh, wow.
So,
mashallah, bro. Congratulations.
Well done to you, sir. We will hopefully see him later on in the season, perhaps in EU East, Middle East 2, which I think happens in October.
He's also a family man. You never know it from how good he is, but you know these things can be challenges as well. So, but yeah, I think it'd be great. It'd be a shame if he didn't enter
September. It's in September. Is the next one. Yeah.
And then of course Fruit as well. Is Fruit in the bracket?
Fruit I couldn't find either.
In the bracket too. You know, dedicated Ed player, but also has a few other characters in his pocket too. Not sure who he plays these days, but has been a long-standing, strong member of that crew, from Laura to Ed to whoever he might play today. Not entered, which really surprised me as well. So there's a few players missing, and that opens up a world of possibility for the players who are kind of like in that less known category, who maybe, and a lot of these guys, this is going to be their first ever CPT event, because for some reason, even though we've had online CPT events before, a lot of the names I'm seeing here haven't actually entered those online CPTs. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they do in this environment, especially with guys like Phenom, Big Bird and Angry Bird expected to go all the way. Are they going to be upset? I definitely anticipate 1 or 2 upsets taking place in this setting. We'll see.
Really looking forward to it. I mean, we have said that, we've been speaking about the bracket. We can look at the bracket and just kind of have a browse through, look at some of the paths that the players are going to be taking, some of the best players, the best known players, and see what the obstacles are in their path. So we're going to come back and round out the show, because I know you guys are ready and raring at the top of the hour to see some of this top 16 action. But we're going to have a look at some of the journeys through the brackets that these players will have to go through to make it into top 16. We're back on the other side, and we're going to go through, let you know what you can expect. Alright, so let's take a look at the bracket. Obviously it's happening right now, and when you join the action at the top of the hour, it will be top 16. So let's look at some of the paths that these players are going to have to take to get to top 16, first and foremost, because obviously there's over 100 people in this bracket, and then onward to try and qualify for that top 8 tomorrow, which obviously you guys will be able to see in full here on Capcom Fighters on Sunday. So Group 1, we're going to go through this not in group order, we're going to go through it in terms of how the brackets match up.
That's going to be the interesting thing, right? How's the seeding turned out, right? Because a bunch of these players, like I said, haven't been in a CPT before.
Yeah, I'm not entirely certain how the CPT seeding works this year. That is not something that's been made public, but I believe that CPT points previously are weighted heavily. So if you're a player that has had the opportunity to go to an event or has played in an online event and got a top 8 placing, a top 16 placing at a premiere, that's going to put you in a great stead over maybe arguably a better player that just hasn't had the opportunity to travel. So that is something to consider, but we're going to look into this. So we're going to go through the groups and the brackets as they will propagate to get to the top 16. So Group 1 will end up playing Group 7, Group 8 will end up playing Group 4, Group 3 will end up playing Group 6, and Group 2 will play Group 5, and that will give you the winner's half of top 16. So in that Group 1, listen, Big Bird is the number 1 seed in this tournament, and that's understandable.
Makes sense, yeah, based on the points last year.
Based on his points. He has not got the easiest group.
Right, this looks a bit tricky for a number 1 seed. No?
Yeah. So he not only has Low-High, the Urian, to get past, but also GTR.
Yeah.
Now, I did see a set between Big Bird and GTR.
They play a ton as well.
Yeah, right. and he beat him with G against Gil, and it was quite convincing, but I'm not sure. And Low-High, how much experience is he going to have against Low-High? None.
I don't think he's got any experience exactly against
And
Low-High.
I feel like, I watched Daigo play like a Kumite against all the Urian.
Yeah.
Right? And he beat all of them apart from Muse. But the playstyles were so different And Guile's still a brick wall for Urien. He's really
still a
Guile's
tough
still
matchup.
very, very tough for Urien. Even with the V-Skill 2, he's still very tough. But it's very interesting, having watched Uriens over the years in this game, how kind of unique they all are.
Well, it's so important as well, because he's such an explosive character. He's so sporadic in his movement, and he's got so many different things he can do. All of them have slightly different habits. If you get too used to one, you're almost dead, guaranteed dead against the other. I think Daigo's greatness and Guile in that matchup were the only thing that kept him in a good place. But looking at situations like this for Big Bird, he doesn't have a Guile, right? That's truly counters Urien.
Well, I feel his playstyle is also kind of reserved as well, so he's not going to be just going hell for leather, getting himself in scramble situations that are definitely not great to be getting in with Urien, and just being put on tilt by a lot of the tools that Urien has. There's hardly a bad way to spend an EX bar with Urien.
And to be fair, he feels quite comfortable versus European players with Rashid, right? So he'll probably pick Rashid in that match, and he's kind of vocalized to you that's going to be his approach, kind of like or was it the opposite for the European players?
No, so he said to me that he's comfortable using the Rashid for the European players. He might bring out the G, he might bring out the Kage for some of the Middle Eastern players, literally just based on character-specific matchups. But that is definitely not an easy group, so I'm really excited to find out how that group panned out. You'll find out, obviously, at the top of the hour. The winner of Group 1 will go on to face the winner of Group 7. And Group 7, I couldn't pick out a lot of names that I recognise in this group. I think the top seed in there is a player called Aero Crater from Poland, who uses Colleen. And other than that, it was a lot of names that just didn't jog my memory. But that could be, again, that could just be a complete landmine.
Could be Ras, signed up as a happy feet 237 or something,
Yeah, I mean, you could have a pool of 15 Hondas in there. You never know, like they're all just going to climb out like the living dead and EX butt slam you into losers bracket. Who knows? So if Big Bird, as number 1 seed, does make it out of Group 1, past players like Lohai and GTR, he's definitely not going to have any matchup experience against the players that he could face out of Group 7. So he's got quite a stressful path if he wants to make it into top 8 winners.
Welcome to online CPT, man.
It's so funny to think about kind of the difference between the mental strength you need to get to somewhere like Evo Grand Finals. It's a completely different kind of mental strength to be able to just be consistently strong online. So we'll find out. Then moving on to the other quarter of that bracket, it's going to be Group 8 playing against Group 4. And in Group 8, we picked out Atrosh, the Swedish player, and Zantetsu as well. 2 players that, again, you mentioned they're strong. We're most likely going to see that as winners finals in the group, I think.
Yeah, it looks like it from me.
They're definitely the 2 strongest. So, again, they're both players that you don't want to be going up against. Atrosh especially, I don't want to be I don't want to have to
comes
beat
to life in the
Atrosh
tournaments as well.
Online. I don't want to have to beat Atrosh online.
He could literally lose in a casual.
I'm not on it.
I agree. And he's a very wild birdie. He takes a lot of risks. He bets it all, when he needs to. So 2 out of 3 setting. I see him topping that group, but it's interesting to see who he faces, because I think it gets really interesting there, because you've got 2 very, very interesting characters.
So that'd be Group 4. Who have you got?
So you've got Veggie there. Oh my God, Veggie! Veggie's not playing Phenom. Veggie's not playing Phenom. Look at this. Wait, hold on.
Phenom's in the bottom half. Veggie's in the top half.
That's got to be the first time in maybe 4 tournaments.
The seeding's done its job, at least there.
I mean,
anything else, it's done its job at least.
Veggie will be punching the sky in joy, and I think Phenom will be too. Those 2 have been so unlucky, and this has gone on since Street Fighter 4. They've been so jinxed when it comes to going to tournaments.
I definitely wouldn't get too excited for Veggie, because he's got one of your picks, one of the dark horses.
Yeah, that's a tough one
in that pool as well. Who's that?
White Ash is in that pool as well. Yeah. And I think of the 4 you've mentioned, Atrosh, Zeitetsu, Veggie, I think White Ash is, in my opinion, probably the strongest of those players. So that's going to be a really interesting match to see who wins out of Veggie and White Ash, because Veggie's very capable of beating White Ash.
Well, the thing is as well, if White Ash goes for Colleen, Veggie's matchup knowledge should be good. His understanding of the character. Let me not use the wrong phrasing, because you can use a character
and not have
good matchup knowledge.
Ask Andreas.
He at least knows how to use Colin, how a lot of her setups work, and White Ash is a very strong setup base. But also, White Ash's other character is Karine, And there's no way Veggie doesn't have Karine matchup experience
Yeah,
because he's
absolutely.
been training with Phenom all last year.
Well, so much training that Phenom was able to win this supposedly impossible matchup
Against Fudo, a game
maybe
over.
the best birdie in the world at the time. So
Convincingly as well.
convincingly,
Buffering the old medium punch. So that's how one side of winners top 16 qualification could look. Let's look in the bottom half, and we go into Group 3, and the name we mentioned, Phenom, there he is. He is the number 2 seed. He's going to be really excited because not only does he have the Honda player Julia in that side, he's going to be very happy.
We've seen his vocal support for
He's going
Honda
to be
as a character on
big
Twitter.
brain reads.
Big fan.
He has so much respect
Big fan.
for Honda players. But he's also going to be playing his evil doppelganger from Russia, Xenon. Is there as
Phenom
well.
versus Xenon. I see it.
So I hope Phenom and Xenon have to match off. But that Group 3 will be going up against the winner of Group 6, and that includes Dr. Gulag, the Swedish player, Sunmate, the Russian birdie as well.
Yeah, I think if you're going off paper, Phenom's probably in a good position here. Like
He's always in a good
right?
position. Let's.
I mean,
let's
who's
be
going to
honest.
upset Phenom?
Yeah.
And also, he's exposed himself maybe to the online environment more than anyone else in this tournament, right? You know, with the time he's put in. So should be
Also,
fully confident.
another member of Team V/8MC, Barney, is in that group as well. And then it brings us to our last quadrant, I guess.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, quadrant of that top 16 winners side. It's going to be Group 2, which is Angry Bird. So Phenom and Angry. Look, there was 3 great players in this tournament.
gonna happen.
Someone had to get.
It was gonna
Phenom
happen,
and
yeah.
Angry Bird potentially will be meeting in top 8, but let's not count our eggs before they're hatched. Angry Bird, he has to go up against Shady, the Finnish
European player
Urian,
from Europe, yeah.
in that pool as well, seeded in there. So, gonna be a tough one for him. We'll see how Angry Bird does, whether he makes it into winners. That's to be expected. He is a high seed.
Yeah, I'd expect him to, but I do anticipate upsets, and it could come down there. It could come at the top with Big Bird. We'll see. And the winner of that obviously will go up against the winner of Group 5,
Yeah.
which will be Evil Yoshi, Brick, and who's the third one?
Right
there?
Man's Barnet, the
Barnet.
Manat from Sweden.
Love that
So,
name, Right Man's Barnet. So yeah,
Again, that's
I mean,
kind of a stacked. It's
pretty-
not.
in
It's
terms of
not
like-
stacked with killers, but it's stacked with names you have to respect.
exactly, yeah, exactly. People that could beat you if you're not careful, right? So that could be tricky for Angry Bird. We'll see. I mean, if he whips out the Zeku, I don't see him having any problems personally.
I'm going to put you on the spot. We're going to try and pick winners top 8 qualifiers. So you only have to pick 4 names.
Okay.
Looking at these brackets as they're set up now.
Well, I've already said there's going to be an upset, so I've got to say something crazy, haven't I?
Oh, well, you've got a couple of minutes before we get kicked off of the air and we have to hand it over to those live games.
Okay, put me on the spot. I'm going to say
Out of that first,
Evil Yoshi versus Angry Bird. Yeah, that's the first top 8 match.
so that is a top 16 match. That would be a top
Oh,
16
so after
match.
that, okay. So
Yeah, after
okay,
that. So
then
even further, bro. You got to go even
probably
further.
Angry Bird wins that, and then probably
So you're saying Angry Bird?
Angry Bird gets through. I say
Yeah,
Phenom gets through.
yeah.
Right. Interesting in the middle there. I'm gonna say White Ash,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna say the shock is gonna be White Ash beats Big Bird.
So in winners semi-finals in top 8, you think White Ash is going to beat Big Bird?
Yeah. Go
We'll
on.
talk more about that tomorrow
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that will be interesting to see whether that even comes up.
Called it.
Yeah, I think we're going to see those 3 names through. I think we're going to see Big Bird, Phenom, and Angry Bird. They've been training a lot online.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be seeing those. I would like to see my friend Veggie make it through. That's the one that I'm really looking forward to. I hope Veggie makes it through in top 8 in some way. But White Ash, I felt the power of White Ash. I know how strong he is. So.
That's going to be an interesting match between those two because I think it's going to give us a nice indication of where the tournament could go from there.
It is. You can find the brackets on Smash GG if you want to see exactly how things are right now. Obviously, we can't check because we're giving you this information, but you don't have to wait any longer because it is now time to get into top 16. We're going to take a very short break. We're going to get the hell out of here.
It's been too
and
long.
you are going to be able to enjoy some Capcom Pro Tour action. Oh my God. What a
GG's,
beautiful
baby,
thing
at
to
last.
say.
Oh, God, let's go.
Hope you enjoy. Take care.
Hello, guys, and welcome to the first event of the CPT. Welcome to the CPT 2020. This is, of course, going to be the first event of the season. It's the online EU East and Middle Eastern event. Yo, it's your boy Tyrant, being joined by social distancing measures. HD Jammers here.
Anyone got a ruler? Anyone in the back? They got a ruler? I need to make sure my arm's like about a meter long or so, that maybe, but it's going to be all right. We're going to be fine.
We're all good over here. We're all good. So it's going to be a great one, man. We've got some really strong players in attendance today. Some of the ones, the household names everybody knows, of course, your Big Bird. We're going to Phenom in there as well, amongst others that you might not know about. So it should be a really exciting event.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to be back. It's good. Once again, thank you, Capcom, very much for putting this on, because us lot have been hungry for some CPT action in some way, shape, or form.
Listen.
And it's back. And also, let's give praise to F-Word and Logan for doing that pre-game show.
I like that. That's pretty cool.
Just putting it together. It was Logan's idea, brought Femi on board, and it's a great thing to have just to get people ready and warmed up before the commentators like myself and Tyrant get ready to kick things off for you guys. We are going to be doing the top 16 down to the top 8. And then the top 8 will be happening tomorrow. Speaking of the players in the top 16, we're going to have a bracket showing on the screen right now. And there you have it. I see it's very small on my screen, but I've got another screen in front of me here at Smash GG. So the first match we should be having on board, Tyrant, is Big Bird, like you said, household name.
Yep.
He qualified for the Capcom Cup last year, runner-up at EVO. Let us not forget he had an incredible year last season.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be going up against Phoenix. I believe that's what it says, and his team is RSPN. I'm unfamiliar with that name.
Yeah.
Are you unfamiliar with that name as well?
That's a new one to me. I've not heard much of Phoenix, but you know, he's got to be pretty strong if he's going to make up there. He's going to get his match with Big Bird in top 16 on the winner's side. Moving one game down there, it's going to be Lord Ahmed up against White Ash. So Lord Ahmed is not a name I'm too familiar with either. Representing Team Omani by the looks of things, but V/White Ash. So this is a guy that, you know, he's very confident and capable in multiple other games.
Yes.
Very strong player in that environment. And the last, I actually played against White Ash out in Dubai.
Okay.
When me and F-Word went over there for an event a couple years ago. He was playing Karen back then, but I know since then he has switched to Colleen.
Yeah, full time, I believe. And he made top 8 last year for the Middle Eastern TBT, which I commentated with Bold Strike. Shouts to Bold Strike back at home. So I'm actually curious to see how he does and how he finds Colleen in Season 5.
Oh, yeah. Dude, the character is extremely strong. For me, you know, arguably top 5, definitely top 10.
Yeah.
She's super good.
I mean, everyone's talking about your V-Trigger 2 at the moment. We can have a chat about that later.
It's fine. Stop your crying, would ya?
But moving on, while I'm not crying, it's going to be Phenom going up against Sunmate. Again, Phenom had an incredible year last year. 3rd place. Unlucky to try and get the gold last year for the Capcom Cup.
I feel like Phenom has consistently been one of the strongest players overall in Street Fighter 5.
He's not spoken about enough, though.
He's one of the most consistent players in the game. He's always up there. He's always doing damage, and you know, whenever you see him in the bracket, he's a good player to bet on, to be honest.
Yeah, he is, and he's going to be going up against Sunmate. Now, I haven't actually seen Sunmate that active this year. You think he's going Birdie?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Last
sure.
time I saw him, he was messing around with Poison.
Poison?
I don't know if he's going to whip it out, but...
Yeah, I know. Like, that would make sense, to be honest. Poison is a very super strong character, and Birdie did receive a number of nerfs. A lot of people saying this is the weakest iteration of Birdie so far, which, you know, kind of hard to argue with there. He's looking like he did receive a number of nerfs, unfortunately.
But then we're going to be moving down, of course, in the last game in the winner's side of the top 16 is going to be Angry Bird, Big Bird's compadre. And he's going to be going up against, now, how do I pronounce this? This looks like someone's Wi-Fi code. 3900 M209. I have never heard of this guy.
Did he put his password where the username's supposed to be and vice versa?
I don't have no clue. But
that doesn't look like...
He's in the top 16, me and you ain't.
Hey, man, you can't argue with the man's name. So, yeah, he's going to be going up against Angry Bird, who is, of course, one of the most explosive players on the planet. That Zeku is just unrivaled in you know...
Let us not forget, he has been learning Seth.
I'm
very curious as to see who Angry Bird is going to whip out today.
Yeah, he's been playing Seth. You know, that was his character in Street Fighter 4.
Okay.
So, you know, it makes sense to bring the Seth back in one way or another, you know, rug that character there. So, I mean, Angry Bird is always, you know, he's like Phenom, he's like your Big Bird. He's always one that you can safely bet on to produce the results in the tournament there. So that's the winner's side, and they're the ones we're going to be kicking off with.
Okay, I believe the first match we are going to be having, of course, like we said, it's going to be Big Bird going up against Phoenix. So hopefully our team in the back is going to get that lobby sorted. Guys, make sure to tweet out the stream, twitch.tv/CapcomFires. Let everybody know the season is finally kicking off, and we're kicking things off here with European East, with the Middle Eastern players. And I'm just hoping to see some good games. It's been a little while. I know the tournaments have been on and off. Again, hold tight to the community, because ever since this lockdown thing happened, you guys have taken things into your own hands. And there's tournaments every day. I can't keep up.
I feel like there's always stuff going on. And it's a great way to keep the community in shape and keep regular things, you know, going, and keep a spotlight on these players, because, you know, like, without these events, the players don't get a chance to shine. They can sit and play lobbies and ranked or whatever, or stream from home, but it's these events that give them exposure, and, you know, more people find out about them.
It's funny that you say that, because now that we're taking things online, broader perspective, and there's more players that, again, look, there's about 3, 4, probably even 6 names we've never heard of, right, outside of our region. So it's like, right, this is a new experience for me and Tyrant, right? So we can see other players. We know the game, but do we know how their characters and how they do their style, their players, their characters? I just want to see. I want to learn something new, and it helps us keep on form with the commentary.
It's going to be interesting, but you know what it's about, man? It's not about us. It's about these players. So let's see Big Bird versus Phoenix. I think we are going to go straight into that match now, guys. We're going to get that one moving for you all. But yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in. We appreciate that. And like the first TPT of the season, it's always got that special feel around it, man. It feels like Christmas. It's like, you know, we've been waiting all year long, and here it is at last. You know,
hey man, I've been hungry. Also, guys, do not forget, if you want to make sure and keep on track with the schedule for the entire season, because it's going to be like 18, 19 weeks running, right? Head over to CapcomProTour.com. They put out the schedule. It's on Capcom Fire's Twitter channel, or their Twitter and their Twitch, sorry. So you can make sure, keep up to date, because the thing's going to get rolling. And you're going to see more pre-game shows from Logan and F-Word. You're going to see more commentators doing their thing from every region. But as I say that, let me start filling in the time for you. Let's kick things off with some Street Fighter action.
Let's go.
And okay, it's going to be Rashid going up against Vega. And of course, they didn't pick the grid. That is a rule I think we have to keep reminding people and enforcing.
Yep, no grid.
You're allowed to pick the grid up until top 16. And from then on out, you've got to pick a different stage each and every time. All right. Vega versus Rashid. It's not a matchup I've seen in a little while. I think this can be quite rough for Vega this season, despite the buffs he's got.
I mean, Rashid is one of the best characters in the game, right?
For sure. So
I feel like this character doesn't really have many bad matchups, to be honest. But here we go, just getting a little synchronization action. But there we go. Big Bird off to a great start here.
Into the corner, into the throw. Let's see how Phoenix is going to handle this corner game. Not really dealing with the tick throw there.
Oh my goodness.
On Big Bird. And funnily enough, there's something I can't see. And it's going to be stunned. I don't know if you've clocked yet. I can't see the gauges. I can't see the gauges.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we are definitely going to have to sort this out once this set is over. So I can't tell you when they have meter or when they have feature cuts.
It's a guessing game.
We'll just have to work with it for now, I'm afraid. Crouch fierce. That button's a lot more easier to deal with. It's a lot more manageable now. So I want to see Phoenix if he can whip punish that.
This feels like a Street Fighter 2, man. This is World Warrior throwback. There's no bars. It's just the health gauges.
Well,
you know?
I'm telling you. All right, there's the spinning mixer. Run to the corner, and he's going to activate V-Trigger 1.
Yep.
That's what he picked.
Phoenix needs to get out the corner here, but yeah, just going to take the chip. 0 on hit there. Oh, blocked off, sorry.
But I wonder who wins the trade, because depending on the button you press, the frame data changes, right? So.
Okay, here we go. Neutral jump. This is just horrible for Vega right now.
Back in the corner. I don't think he's going to get out. I have a feeling he's picked V-Trigger 2 because he hasn't used V-Trigger 1 to get out yet.
Okay, he's just trying to win.
Take VT1. He's going to go into the super.
Oh, wait. I think he's dead because the mask's off.
Not
was close.
Vitality increases. How about that? And he goes for the throw bait with crouching light kick.
When that mask comes off, he does extra damage, but the claw was off as well, so I'm not sure if it just balances out that way or. Oh, look, jumping!
That was insane, and another throw. He might do that whole thing he did in round 1 again. Crush counter, looking for the stun here, Big Bird. Let's see what mix-up he's going to put Phoenix in now. It is looking perilous for him. Good block on the empty jump low.
Yeah, he will just neutral jump mix you all day, and the full jump in again. Vega with those unreliable anti-air choices.
That's rude. Oh my. That was genius. Total lockdown. Couldn't get out.
It doesn't matter. We're all in quarantine right now. Big Bird just says you have to be there for a little longer. Just pinning him down. You could see he even tried the V skill to escape first frame projectile and strike invincibility, but it's not going to get you out of the CA. Like at that point, it's over.
That situation was dreadful. I mean, look,
it's a wrap.
I still need to learn more about this matchup myself, but if that didn't tell you that matchup looks completely dire, then I don't know what will.
It looks bad, dude.
So, this is hard because Phoenix needs to find his footing, but I think he needs to be a little bit more aggressive. Big Bird just ran over him way too easily that last game. Ooh. Again, delayed on the standing
counter hit.
And he tried to wake up. I don't know if that was Flying Barcelona or Crimson Terror. It was something. He just can't get out. I think he should... Ooh.
Oh, look at that, man. Stand fierce from all that way downtown.
Crouching fierce, and again, I love Big Bird spacing right now. He's making sure that Phoenix's options are extremely limited here, and he's dead. I don't even think he needed to spend that bar.
Nah, probably just medium mixer would have done the job.
Yeah, could just let the Yasar hit, gone into medium or heavy spinning mixer after that. But he's on match point regardless. Let's see how this is going to happen. Again, look at that spacing.
Yeah. Phoenix right now, you know, he's had one nice successful whiff punish on the crouch fierce this whole set so far, but Big Bird thrown out that stand fierce.
There you go, he's thrown out malicious intent as well. And some of these buttons got turned down, like I said, he's making it like it doesn't look like they got nerfed.
And you can see right there, Phoenix got a clean jump in, but it was not to come to a full combo. Big Bird got away lightly there.
Do you know what? That jumping hard punch has been paying dividends for Big Bird so much.
It really has. He knows Vega can't do anything about it. You have to like jump back.
Jump back. You can slide under. I think that might even be a bigger risk. I don't know. Oh, he might be gone.
And he caught him grounded as well.
Alive. What is he going to do? He hasn't even used V-Trick or anything.
I mean, at this point, Big Bird doesn't have to do anything. He can just wait for a whiff punish opportunity. He can just chill. I mean, Phoenix is the one that has to take the risk, to be honest.
I'm telling you right now, the next hit will do it. Phoenix, you got to do everything in the kitchen sink. You got to get some sort of offense started. He might need to take the claw off and try something. But, oh no! He went for the classic!
No.
He tried
I mean, he might have gone for a late V-Trigger cancel, but did he have V-Trigger at that point? I couldn't really tell.
I mean, he might have, but again, it's all guessing for us right now. We're going to get the HUD sorted for you guys right now. Slight error on our part, but
apologies.
That was a complete mauling, man. That jumping hard punch was probably the crux of the game.
Yeah, the big downwards hitbox that Vega can't really deal with, you know. The anti-air options are not there for that character. From that angle, like Rashid jumps at a close range, you pretty much have to jump back. Or, you know, try and, like you said, dash under or you can't sit there and block and allow him to get pressure.
Not forever.
Yeah, it's a horrible situation. So.
I feel it might have been for me, it might have been the fear factor, because I've seen a lot of Vegas at that range, they will confidently walk under. But again, the operative word being confidence. He didn't look like he had that the entire first two.
Yeah, Phoenix looked a bit flustered, to be honest there. But, like, you know, it's to be expected. Going up against Big Bird, one of the strongest players in the world. Like, without doubt. So it's a tough one for him. So Phoenix going to drop down into the losers bracket. Big Bird makes it into top 8 winners tomorrow. No surprises there.
All right, he's putting on the clinic, making sure. And you lot thought he was dabbling around with Kage G and the rest of the cast.
Yeah,
I said this from the start of the year. They said there's no Rashid players. I said, don't be fooled. This guy is still good. They're just having fun at the moment. When CPT's back, they're back. Case in point.
Yeah. Big Bird's going to be in there. Like, who knows? Depending on the matchup, he might bust out the G, the Kage. But pretty much Rashid is good coverage for, like, almost every matchup. Like, I feel like the character doesn't really have that many bad matchups anyway.
Nah, I mean,
I hear, like, Cammy's kind of tough. But, like, I don't know. I can't see him losing that, you know?
Yeah, no, I don't know. For me, he's still a top 5 character, potentially top 3.
Three for me, top 3.
Because, like Logan said and the rest of the guys have been saying, because there's been no tournaments, that CPT official tournaments, it's like we can't make an official tier list. So everyone's opinionated ones have been quite interesting. And obviously there's been, look, let's just say it, let's put it mildly, right? But there has been some interesting general consensuses with, like, Urian, G, Rashid being up there.
I've seen Guile.
I think he's strong. I know, like, you know, Daigo is making him look extremely strong, but I still think the character is a viable contender.
I think he's all right. I think he's decent for sure. I think he's decent.
But yeah, that matchup has been concluded. The next match we're going to be happening is going to be Lord Ahmed going up against White Ash Paul. Listen, Tyrant, I might as well let you commentate this by yourself since they're both your characters.
I mean, I have to say, as a Colleen player, I love this matchup. Like, Bison, I feel, definitely struggles against Colleen. She's got too many tools to prevent the Dictator from getting his stuff going.
So what, are you telling me he can't use Psycho Axe liberally, he can't jump comfortably? What is it?
The neutral is awkward. The neutral is awkward for Bison. Okay, so let's see here. Also, like, you have to constantly be aware of the parry and the V skill. I actually like V skill 2 for this matchup as well, but let's see how White Ash goes for this one. Here we go.
He's just played it correctly, or played it safe with the V skill 1.
Don't get it twisted at all. Bison, once he gets moving, it doesn't matter who he's against.
Yeah.
He's going to dominate. So,
right now, White Ash is on the back foot. He gets back thrown. He might be able to close out this round here.
Ooh, okay, chase down.
He triggered 2.
Ooh, you have to be so careful. Goes low after the plus double digits.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much experience White Ash actually has in this matchup, to be perfectly honest with you.
I mean, there's definitely a couple of Bisons in the Middle East. Don't forget Horse Mask is definitely an extremely strong Bison that plays up there with the Middle Eastern guys. So here we go. Just playing a lot more of a solid neutral game here. Gets the forward throw. Low forward there.
All right, there's the scissors. And again,
hey, it's never a bad time for EX scissor kick.
Well, I mean, like, could he use the meter, save it for later for something, or?
Ooh. Okay, there we go.
He's got no
Inferno.
I like that neutral jump, probably just in case of a wake-up CA. That is a legit option for a lot of characters.
Look, Ahmed is definitely trying to, looks like he's trying to bait a lot of parries. Here we go.
Again.
Oh, no confirmation.
Honestly, that's a big deal, right? It's
Nice.
how people and characters deal with EX Hailstorm. Because some people still out there, they can't really deal with it well, so.
Yeah, Bison's one of the ones that can kind of, you know, have a rough time against it. EX Head Stomp is a good answer.
Okay. I see Pop use that quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
Paraben's going to close it out. Crouching hard kick.
Yeah,
Doesn't even need to, actually. And there you have it. It's going to be taken to the final round of game 1. Lord Ahmed's actually been holding it down and been very patient in the neutral here, so hopefully he can get White Ash on tilt. Been back and forth between these two so far. There's the scissors again. Ooh. Oh, he tried the backdash, yeah. I mean, I like to win it comboed, but...
Yeah, try remember.
All right, goes for the jumping hard kick, safe jump, sorry, in the back throw.
Okay. Ah, jump back high. Okay, I like it.
I mean, would you see Colleen jumping that much in this matchup?
She doesn't really need to. You can win this entirely on the ground. Okay, back throw to the corner. Horrible situation. Psycho Axe.
That could have been a parry, dude, on the Psycho Axe.
Yeah, mid-screen she could always backdash that, but in the corner she has to respect it or go for the parry option.
Despite what they've done to backdashes earlier in the year, she still has one of the best backdashes in the game.
It's godlike. It's super good.
And that V-trigger's depleting really quickly. White Ash hasn't made any use of that.
Okay, I like how he's keeping extremely safe here. Doesn't want to take too many risks here. Oh, interruption! That's going to be big.
He's going to knock him down with Psycho Axe.
Yeah, he's probably going to go for a reset here. Bad situation. The dash up throw. Dash through throw, I should say. Man, White Ash got caught slipping right there. Lord Ahmed going to take the first game.
That's the classic, right? Because I've been saying this where before V-Trigger 2's got introduced to the game.
Yeah.
It's Bison has you blocking, conditions you to down back so much. When V-Trigger 1's activated, you just like down back, and it's going to be grab or he's going to dash through. And sometimes when you do react to the jab, it looks the other way, right? So it can still clip you.
I see a couple of Bison players actually. I see Problem going to V-Trigger 1 a lot more these days, you know?
Okay.
Because I feel like people are so conditioned now, like you said, to down back and just block it out against Bison, and you know, they're so expected to see that V-Trigger 2 that when V-Trigger 1 comes out, it's almost like everyone forgot, you know? Okay, here we go. The blast. Dash up, crush.
Damn, Ahmed is he's going in right now. He's nearly getting the stun. I like the scissors. I actually like that scissors attempt.
Yeah, can get the fierce into the EX. He's going to spend the bar there. Let's see here. Can he make something happen? Okay, just backs off, goes for the ice reset, but Ahmed in a good spot, to be honest. Swift punish.
Spacing was immaculate, but again, not big enough damage here. But if he can win the game off the corner, this would be really good.
Yep, she can definitely get momentum here. Here we go, forward throw. He's going to get meaty if he wants. No.
Head press out. I respect it. Oh my word, he's dead. He's dead. If he gets this right, he's dead. Crouch fifth and the spit.
I don't. Just enough V-gauge. Just enough. I wasn't sure if the V-trigger was still going to be there, but there you go. White Ash had enough in the tank.
Word on the street is that thing is going to increase in consumption in a couple of months' time, so you can't finish that combo, yeah?
Well, it's definitely, you know, something a lot of people would like to see. Me not included. Here we go.
White Ash has actually been handling this pretty well after that first game here. He slowed things down.
Yeah.
Trying to be a little bit more active. Trying to be more optimal in a couple of situations as well. And making sure Bison doesn't escape.
Okay. Ooh, nice counter hit confirmed there off the low forward. Leaves him +5 on that. Okay, here we go. Oh, the chase down. Got to be so careful with that Psycho Axe. Oh, man. I think Light King would have reached there. Nice buffer there from Ahmed. He's going to get the meaty Devil's Reverse.
Damn, do you know if he's just a little bit earlier, he could have done standing hard kick. Good V reverse to keep him in the corner.
Ooh. Oh, there it is. It's going to be the counter hit short.
That's tense though, because you're not going to really fling out a counter. Well, maybe you would, but that's tense. You want to escape. It's like it's just one hit away from death.
Okay, let's get back into it. White Ash needs to make this happen now, or he could be dropping down into loser's side. Let's see here. The dash up throw. What's it going to be here? Oh, he blocks it. I don't think he knows he can backdash every time.
I'm surprised he hasn't tried anything, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, okay, here we go. That's the first frost touch of the set. Just goes for a neutral jump. Oh, baits out the V reversal and punishes with a throw.
Good anti of the crouching fierce. I know that's highly unsuccessful in a couple of situations, but Lord Ahmed is making it work. I don't think he wanted that overhead, but it worked out anyway.
Okay, there we go. Counter hit right here. This is going to be a ton of damage. He can even go for a reset if he wants. Goes under. Yes, he does.
The classic. You didn't tell me she could do that in the corner.
Oh, she could do it anyway, yeah.
Jesus. All right. So White Ash taking that next game there with that cross-under setup. And that's a very powerful setup, actually.
It's strong. Yeah, it costs 2 bars and, you know, a chunk of the gauge. But sometimes when you want to close it out, it's totally worth it.
So could you do, after the target combo, the crouching light kick into crouch fierce, can you do the vanity step and then go straight into the V-trigger 2 slash? Can you do that?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. That's pretty much how it works.
That's a lot of damage, dude.
There's other ones you can do as well. Like you can do, after the target combo, you can do medium EX ice and then get a dash ambiguous air reset for the side switch. It's cheap. It's mad cheap.
Well, look, here's the thing. It's been a talking point for like the last couple of days. I mean, we don't ignore the V-Trigger 2, right?
It's good. It's probably one of the best in the game.
Well, some people will have it as the best V-Trigger 2 or 2-bar V-Trigger.
Oh, the best 2-bar V-Trigger? Yeah, probably.
Look, it's up there for me. I'd need to go through everyone's 2-bar V-Triggers again to find out, but it's up there. And remember, once upon a time, there were 6 usages of that, not 3. I remember, it was crazy. Remember when it first came out?
She got after heavy hands, you got a cross up, the dash up slash.
I remember when Will Tupac found that. That was by accident. That was by accident, though.
Yeah, I definitely did it in a few games as well. Like it just you got a cross up, you got a full combo.
It was a big deal, man. It was a big deal.
It was silly.
But again, regardless,
it was sillier. But think about that.
Regardless, it is still a prevalent V trigger, and it's completely reinvented the character. And again, I know there's been this whole meme of just lab it, bro, but there's some situations, even if you lab it, they're going to happen.
Hang on a sec. Isn't Bison V-Trigger 2 bars as well?
It is.
Come on.
So's mine. So's Poison's.
Yeah. Poison's is definitely a contender. But Bison's? Why is no one talking about Bison?
Well, like I said, Season 5, but this is why Season 5 is so good.
Because
there's so many characters, so many 2-bar, 3-bar V-Triggers or whatever. It's like, hold on. Whose flavor of the month is it this time?
You're getting ahead of yourself. We're still Season 4, technically.
That's true.
We're still Season 4.
Champion Edition. I just see it as every year goes by, it's another season.
Yeah.
But hey, 5 characters on the horizon. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I'm definitely that definitely got me excited. So I'm looking forward to it.
So apparently, I'm just having news. We're having a slight delay. We're trying to get the players back in the lobby. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but guys, do bear with us again. Once again, thank you very much for tuning in. Ticking off the CPT season here. We're going down to the top 8 today. And then we're going to continue on to the top 8 to determine a winner tomorrow. And me and Tyrant will be back tomorrow doing some more commentary for you guys.
We will be indeed. So, yeah, the winner of the winner of this weekend's event will be qualified automatically to the Capcom Cup. And then, isn't there some prize money on the line as well? Like, these guys get some cash monies?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I know there's 18 qualification spots via online.
Yes.
Idom's returning, and he might be entering one of the tournaments because he was prompted by Logan. Look, he doesn't want to disappoint Logan.
The gatekeeping?
He doesn't want to disappoint Logan, so he might ruin a lot of people's day. Rightly so.
He's ridiculous, man.
And then I believe the last spot was through community voting.
Yes. So from the top 32 last year, I imagine they're going to do that towards the end of the season, you know, because then we'll have our players determined. But here we go. We're going straight back in, guys.
Okay, so it is one apiece. Lord Ahmed won the first game. White Ash bouncing back. Again, very competent players in their own right.
Yeah, this is looking good.
This is a matchup Tyrant knows because he knows both the characters, understand the mindset really well. That's why I'm kind of peppering questions at him. Because I really want to learn more about these matchups now that we've had the time to do so. I think things might be a little bit slow. Good with punch, the standing hard punch on the knee press there.
Yeah, he needs to be ready.
I wonder what the optimal spacing would be for Colleen in this matchup, to be honest with you.
Yeah, to be honest, like she can definitely terrorize Bison from about sort of mid-range. You know, Bison can't really, he can't be going for that either.
That's free for everyone, though. That's a free counter hit. You can use your crush counter if you want to build V-meter.
Exactly. Honestly, I would say maybe V-Skill 1 is better in this matchup.
He's still not doing anything about that Psycho Axe off of the back throw. I don't know. White Ash keeps using Crouching Fierce against Devil's Reverse there.
It's normally pretty reliable, but I think Ahmed is definitely, you know, using some awkward movements there with the Devil's Reverse to catch him.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Sweep. Activate EX there. Dashes up. Pressure.
Do you know what? I love that back dash out of Hailstorm. Went back to neutral. Got his offense started here. Let's see if we can do that.
The chase. Here we go. No. Not enough. No extra bar there. Oh, goes for the throw. No. Okay, so White Ash might have tried a parry there, a jab even. You can stop that with.
Probably. It's a tense situation. I thought maybe a counter would have come out, maybe even a vanity step, but because it went the other side, he might have messed up his input, so I can respect him for not doing that.
It's definitely an awkward one.
Jumps back, crush counter. That doesn't combo. People are still getting hit by that.
Yeah, but it's like the perfect frame there to go for a throw.
Brilliant.
Okay. And again, the throw.
Stun's racking up here. He's been stubborn, not V-reverse. He's trying to head press out.
That's that head stomp we spoke about earlier. Oh, this is going to be stun. Nice
I like
choice.
him not spending any meter.
Yeah,
is he going to get critical art? No, he's not.
Probably just go for a reset, yeah. Guaranteed Oki on this situation. Whoa, he did the black kick into scissors.
Side swap. Nah, he's going to stay in front.
Well, he's got a lot of resets to make if he wants to get this win.
I don't know, that's looking rough. That was another audacious throw from White Ash.
Bold to press throw there. But sometimes you have to challenge Bison. You know, you got to call him out on that.
Yeah, it's true. You can't keep sitting there all day and then just getting hit crush counter because of your delayed reactions. You got to attempt to kind of steal some frames or interrupt when not necessary.
In that situation, White Ash had a huge life lead anyway. You know, he was at liberty to kind of take that risk of the throw.
I mean, it's match point for both players, so they've got to be very careful with their risk-reward situations in this last round. Another break! Damn.
All right, cross up here, gets the break.
I'm surprised no one's done a proper frame check with buttons or a delayed like crash counter or something.
I love that check on the dash there from White Ash. There we go. Uses the delayed light vanity. Whoa! No, just out of time there. Here we go. Oh, he's out. Activation station off the slide.
Good back dash there from White Ash. He's got a substantial life lead. He went in. I think that was an unnecessary approach on his end. He's got to deal with the Cycle Blast. Almost got a follow-up there. Crush counter.
Oh, this could be it, you know.
No, the V-trigger's run out. He's fine.
Yeah, but like the pressure, the momentum.
He's out.
Okay, he's out.
And he's still got absolute zero to activate here. If you do a Psycho Blast, you're in trouble.
Crosses up. That's going to be enough.
He's dead.
He's dead.
Oh my god, he's going to do Frost Test and reverse javelin. No, he doesn't even need to. He's dead.
Yeah, he's dead for sure. For sure.
Yo!
Yeah, when she got, if she hits you, she's got V-trigger and 2 bars. You might as well just, you know, kiss your ass goodbye. You're done.
That was insane. And that was from a light.
Oh, yeah.
2 bars.
Cross up,
a light,
cross up light.
The thing is, you've really got to pay attention to people's optimal combos in V-trigger now because it's still a high damage output game, man.
She could have got more than that as well. Like if you need, if you do the delayed, you know, the normal one with the EX dagger.
Yeah.
And then you can get the dash, the 2 spears. But it's harder to time. But it's a little bit more damage than the icicle one. So.
Do you know? I might have seen it was either you or Neon that put it up. I might have seen that combo.
Yeah. She could do crazy damage, like 600 damage with the right situation. So, but yeah, that's going to be White Ash advancing on. He's going to be playing against Big Bird tomorrow. Yes. In top 8 winner's side.
Okay, I mean, that's going to be juicy stuff.
That's going to be a clean game.
Rashid versus Colleen?
Yeah, I imagine it will be that one. And Big Bird, very, very good in that matchup, I feel. So.
Okay, hey, look, he could bring out the G, maybe do a little surprise. I've seen that matchup's a little bit rough for Colleen, but
potentially.
We could see. But we're going to be moving on to the next match, I believe, which is Phenom going up against Sunmate. I haven't seen Sunmate play in a little while, and it's good to see Phenom actively playing. He's been streaming a lot more as well.
Dude, he's got a bunch of new characters. He's got Chun-Li now.
Yeah.
He got Chun-Li for sure.
He tried Poison a little bit, or he went in training mode. I saw him do that. Chun-Li, still got the Kali, still got the Karen.
G.
Yeah, but well, I mean, at this point, everyone should have a...
Honestly, I feel like you basically you should have G.
I think you're missing out if you haven't sat with him in training mode at least once, because again, he's going to come up in high frequency. He probably has online for you guys already. And remember, as Efod was saying with Logan in the pre-game show, Phenom is a Warlord now, and he's trying to get his other account up there as well, his PC one, which is Ultimate Grandmaster, I believe. But again, it just shows you how much these guys are grinding online.
It's like we spoke about earlier, man. Phenom is definitely one of the strongest players. Consistently, I feel like overall, throughout the entirety of Street Fighter V's lifespan, he is one of the guys.
Yeah.
Like, he's so good, man.
I think he's been there every year.
He's
Capcom Cup finals every year, I think so.
He's definitely, I'm pretty sure he's qualified every year, and he's, he's Premier winner. He's won multiple, high-stakes matches, and here we go.
So he's gone with the Karen pick. Now, once upon a time, this was very difficult.
Yes,
Karen,
I remember. Season 2 wasn't great.
But you're looking at two considerably weakened characters this season. Karen is actually still strong.
Oh, she's still super good, dude.
I know her corner game got toned down. It's still highly effective. Whiff Punish game is still strong. Damage up is up there. But the big thing about her was the stun output got reduced. And I can't remember if Birdie got a Vitality and stun increase or just one of the two. But we'll see how Sunmate's going to handle it. And again, he's already in the corner. Not looking good. Again, one combo takes you straight there, and you think there's nothing's happened with her corner game. When she does land that forward throw, she is further away from you now, so she can get a meaty standing hard punch, micro walk stand medium punch, something like that.
Yeah, she's not close enough for a reliable throw after the throw,
but it's that mind game that they want, so that the fraudulent mix-up along with the legitimate button there. So
exactly.
That's what they wanted.
Similar to like Akuma now as well.
Of course.
Okay.
Again, Sunmate's having a very tentative approach right now. He's on the back foot that last round. Let's see if he can just be a little bit more active. But he might be scared because you can't whiff as many buttons as you could before with Birdie.
You cannot. Let me tell you, if you're looking for it now, Birdie gets whiff punished with ease.
Dude, have you seen how far stand hard punch, the hurt box lingers out?
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it. I'm fist punching that every time, boy. Okay. Ooh, the counter hit.
All right, V-skill 1 into the corner. I think he tried to jump. Yeah, I think he tried to jump out. Looking at the stun here, might be it.
It was make or break right there for Sunmate, and he went for the throw, not meant to be, and Phenom's going to take that one. Dominant.
Dude, that was an absolute steamroll. The runaway locomotive in the first game.
And I feel like that's been Phenom's playstyle since day. He's just so explosive. Like, once the ball's in his court, once the momentum is on his side, it's a wrap, man. Doesn't matter who he's playing against, he can just overcome anyone, it seems. And
case in point right there.
And Karen is a great character for that because, she gets the pressure off all of the specials. She just piles it on.
I don't know, I've just got to see a more aggressive approach from Sunmate. I think he's just trying to think about how he's going to open Phenom up in that first game there, just how to approach him.
Yeah, honestly, like, it's super rough going up against Phenom. Like, I feel like playing Phenom online is one thing, playing tournament Phenom is another beast entirely.
This is what we're saying, with the mixture of Karen's good whiff punishing abilities and the lack of being able to throw out these normals now, liberally, it's put him in a very bad spot.
This is a great choice as well. This is a good pick from Phenom, I feel, because of that nerf for Birdie.
Yeah, of course.
Karen's one of the best at that. She's the best at whiff punishes, potentially in the game. So
EX Ballhead, he had to do it. He had to armor his way back to neutral. And I don't agree with these jumps.
Oh, wow, that did so much.
That's rough. I don't agree with these jumps from Sunmate. They're getting him killed.
Yeah, he's getting flustered, I think.
I don't know, maybe try and eat a donut. Maybe use your crouch jab, your stand jab a little bit more. He's got to do something. And then the later Orochi there.
And it is full.
Oh, he's stunned. He's stunned. Yeah, he's stunned. Oh, my God. Even with the stun output being reduced, still running a chain on Sunmate here. Tyrant ain't looking good.
I mean, he got it there. He got the activation off the armor. It was a risk to go for that, but he got it eventually.
Oh, he got the killing hit. That's going to do 264 damage. One more, that will do it. Oh.
No, he's out. I mean, at that point, he had to take the risk, right? There was no guaranteed Oki on that. So he basically cashed out on that big damage. That's going to be it. Phenom is going to take it right there. And that's it. Sunmate going to drop down to losers in a quick 4-round succession from Phenom.
Yeah, he didn't get it right.
No, he didn't. That was quick.
That was absolutely difficult. But then again, like you said, that round there, it looked like that had to be Sunmate's round, make or break for the whole set for him, right?
Yeah, he went for the EX grab. He basically cashed out at that point because it was like there was no guaranteed Oki. You have to go for a risky move there, perhaps a dolphin dive or something like that, and Phenom's not going to fall for it. So I feel like it's a tough one. Like, if you play that character, that he doesn't get that momentum-based offense like Birdie, it's not going to be easy. And Phenom, he's going to take it.
Well, I mean, it's like after you've done the killing head, when you do the dash, he's like 0 or something.
Yeah.
So against a 3-framer, it's not wise. But I think he went to do dash up bullhorn, and he was already in view trigger. But Phenom threw him out. So this is it.
It's the mind game. Yeah, exactly.
I understand what Sunmate, and Sunmate's done that in numerous tournaments before to get back into the set because he knows people want to take advantage of that situation.
Phenom is just like, he's just too smart, man. He thinks about all the possible outcomes. And, you know, he always takes the least risk possible. And in this online environment, taking the least risk possible is definitely the way you want to go.
Yeah, especially if you're looking to qualify for this year's online CPT, right? Tournament mode's back on. A lot of us don't experience what Phenom has experienced, along with the other professional players in this tournament. So, hey, he's in the winner's side of the top 8, and we're going to be determining his opponent through Angry Bird and 3900. I'm just going to call him that for now. I don't know if that's his Wi-Fi password or not. But
this name is wacky, man.
Now, I'm not sure if we're going to go for a break or we're going to continue that. Okay, we are going to have a break. The stream team have told me that. We're going to go for a break. So, guys.
Got it.
We're going to be leaving you for about 5 or 6 minutes. When we come back, more CPT online action coming your way. Don't go nowhere. We'll be back with you shortly.
Combos are what make fighting games insanely fun, and are probably one of the reasons why you delved into this genre. Combos are basically a sequence of attacks that cannot be blocked if the first hit connects. Combos are a combination of normal attacks and special moves. Some characters have simple combos, whilst others have combos that require a bit more dexterity. All depends on how the character was designed. The damage output to a combo will all depend on how much meter you're willing to spend. The more meter you spend means the combo should inflict more damage. No matter how hard or easy the combo is, every character will have a BNB. BNB stands for bread and butter. Bread and butter combos are usually combos that are the go-to option for a character due to their efficiency and ease of execution. Let's use Ken as the example. His bread and butter is crouch strong, into back strong, then immediately press stand fierce, then input his heavy Tatsumaki special move. Now if Ken wants to dish out more damage, then he can spend 1 bar from his EX gauge at the end of this sequence, so that he can do the EX version of Tatsumaki. Just to reiterate, the damage done in combos depends on how much resources are spent. You have to practice these combos repeatedly until they become second nature, but there's also the possibility of you dropping the combo. You can head over to trial mode to see which character's combos you like best.
All right, everybody, and welcome back to the first CPT online tournament of the season, European East along with Middle Eastern. Myself, Jammers, and Tyrant, we're making sure we're far apart to make sure you guys are comfortable at home. And again, we've gone through 3 matches of the winner's side of this top 16 today already. And now we're going to be going on for the last round, the last match of round 1 of top 16. And then we're going to be going through the losers matches. Again, like I said, to reiterate, we're going down to the top 8 today. We're not determining a winner. That will be happening tomorrow.
Yep, top 8 tomorrow, guys. This is top 16 today. We have had 3 of the 4 winners matches for top 16. And the next one will finalize who we see in that winners bracket tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's going to be between Angry Bird and the next guy. I'm not sure how to say the name, but I'm going to call him 39. Let's call him 00. Let's go 00.
3900.
It looks like like you said, it looks like a router password. The guy's name. So
hey, look, I'm pretty sure he's competent at the game. He has to be.
Yeah.
He has to be. I've never heard of his name. No. Apologies for not having my research expand to that far, but he's here for a reason. Let us not forget. And hopefully he can give Angry Bird a run for his money.
Hey man, you're going to have to really bring it if you're going to be going up against him. You know, Capcom Cup qualifier, you know, one of the strongest Zekus out there.
Yeah.
Just super explosive. And also, you know, he's got a couple new characters under his belt, including Seth perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, like, we know him predominantly for the Zeku pick, right? But then obviously when Seth came out, he said, I've been putting a lot of time to try and master the character. But then there was a lot of, you know, ups and downs with Seth. Because everyone, like the usual, done the honeymoon period, tried him out for 2 or 3 weeks. Then it went like radio silent, no one played him. And a couple of the Asian players, along with Angry Bird, just silently in the background, just like, nah, you know what, this character's...
Sacco.
Sacco. I think he's made the complete switch now. I think he's made the complete switch.
That V-trigger too, he makes it look busted, man.
Tandem maneuver is where it's at for me. And I see Broski at home. Shout out to Broski for trying it out as well. But it looks interesting, and hopefully, maybe not today, but maybe at some point during the weekend, he'll bring out the set and show me something. Because I love how Angry Bird likes to gravitate towards complex characters and masters it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's like, dude, you didn't even show us that. Like before, you didn't even tell us you were using the character. Why did you already know this? Why are you already at level 10? When everyone's at level 1, do you know what I mean?
He's he likes keeping it under wraps. Like no one knew last season like he had any other character apart from Zeku. He completely dropped Akuma, and then all of a sudden he busts out with Buki. And like he's got like a sick Buki, and like do you remember that was nuts?
Once upon a time, Angry Bird was a serious Akuma player. Zeku's my sub, but he qualified the Capcom Cup with Zeku.
He was one of the best Akumas, yeah.
And it's it's crazy.
So yeah, he's going to be going up against 39, who like we said, we're not too familiar with this guy. You know, his whereabouts and things like that. But you know, like we say, he must be pretty solid if he's up there in the winner's side.
If I had a console in front of me right now, I would go on CFN and I'd type in that name exactly, or you might have another CFN ID there ready for us waiting, and I would be like, right, let me see what this guy's about, let me understand his style.
Right.
But like I said before, right, with one of the things about commentary is when we say we're unfamiliar with a character or a player, that's the beauty, because we're on the spot now. So we got to learn as we go along and go, okay, this guy, I've got to put him in the memory banks because he did make it this far. He is a potential qualifier. That's it. Because again, whoever wins this weekend, they qualify for Capcom Cup.
You're in. You are in. So, you know, that's no joke. Serious things, you know, it's on the line here. So that's going to be great. You can see right there, guys, got some more of the upcoming events dates.
Yeah, I believe that's the rundown. Oh, and again, there you go, guys. They said, help us make the CPT better. Take it from me. Take advantage of that and fill it in.
I didn't have time to get the link on
No way. It's a Zeku mirror. Okay, I was not expecting this. However, I don't know if this is one of the more awkward mirror matches in the game.
It might be, because there's technically 2 ways you can play it.
4.
4, yeah, there you go. It's technically 4 matchups in one.
Oh, man. Right, 50p. That 39's going to go young first. They both did.
and he sent out the weasel to begin with. Oh, there we go, okay.
Notice I said 50p, not £50. Because I wasn't sure.
Oh, come on, bro. That's like Tuerte players doing backdash taunt at the start of a round. That's like... Whoa, okay, there we go, knockdown.
Okay, so yeah, like we said, we're familiar with how Angry Bird has played this character and what success he's brought to not only himself, but Zeku as well, or the attention. But let's see what 3900's got.
Angry Bird is the original color Zeku here, guys.
And he's got the V-Trigger 1. Okay. Interesting. I guess that's probably to catch out maybe a Grant in young form, maybe jump or go under young form's jump-ins as well. Mess things up. We'll
Counter hit, that's big damage. Don't think it's going to be enough to close it out there.
He's all right. Good stuff.
Ooh, this could be horrible for him. Next hit.
Delay back throw there, and a good V reversal from 3900.
I think I'll go with double O like you did.
It looks like Doom, you know, like you got the 9 and double O. Oh, that's going to be it right there. Low short.
No way.
So far off.
I wonder if his button, he pressed it, but it didn't come out. He blocked the overhead. He done the hard part.
I feel like Rashid low light kick is kind of like Rashid's before the nerf.
Yeah.
Zeku's low light kick is kind of like the young Zeku one.
I could see that. Well, they toned down his stand light kick. It's not as prevalent as it was before.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
But again, some of these attacks he's got still good. People have him in their top 5 this season, so he's definitely a strong character.
And that was looking disastrous for Angry Bird. Busted out with the EXDP. Whoa! Okay, animal cruelty right there.
I don't know what I feel about that V skill too, you know? I really don't know what to make of it.
Maybe just to help close the gap easier. That's his logic there.
But yeah, against Young Form when he's got a 9-frame slide, I think that's easy crush counter for him.
For sure.
Jump and the cross cut, grand ban.
Yo, he got it. EX right there, gonna do it right there. And man, Angry Bird could not get anything going. Looking a bit lost.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel in your mirror matches, someone's going to get mad antsy. And it's like, they're going to start playing uncharacteristic, they're going to jump, they're going to do things that you don't normally do because it's like, right now, you've got to deal with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can actually see that as, you know, like Angry Bird, he's such a logical player. He will play by the book. He will go out of his comfort zone and take the risk every now and then. But if you're bringing it to him non-stop, you're going to make him uncomfortable.
And sorry to interrupt you. He's stuck with it. He's stuck with VT1, V-Skill 1. He's stuck with Zeku.
He believes, man. This is the Zeku master.
Goes for the stand fist target combo. And then another back throw there. A neutral jump after the throw. Interesting call there from 39. Calling the V-Skill 2, and he's going to get pick up. No, he doesn't. Yeah. I think he didn't know which side he was going to be on. His stuff here. He's actually bringing the fight to Angry Bird pretty well. But again, I'm not experiencing this. They are. The reversal again. Ooh. That should be a clear indication to Angry Bird. He needs to switch up his offense. I feel 39's a bit scared to deal with certain situations.
Oh my goodness. Yo, the hit confirmed. That was beautiful.
I've got to give him that.
Yep. That's that hard kick. So many plus frames on that. More than enough for that 4-frame super. Beautiful.
And he didn't even allow 39 to use his future 1 in that last round here. He's got the meter advantage though, so we'll see how that goes. And again, he's opted to go for Young Form, summon the V-Skill 2 immediately, and it hasn't really worked. It worked out once, but even that got punished.
Absolutely.
Delay, he stunned Tyrant.
He got it right there.
What's
okay.
this? What's this? Is this okay? What is this?
Oh no, he didn't even use the V-Skill in the combo. It was just a... I'm not sure.
I don't know if that was a fast, but the dynamite didn't even hit the floor, so...
Yeah.
I don't know what that was.
One touch away. Nice break.
Oh! He's dead! Yeah!
The combo reset as well.
Oh, man. Okay. We're going to go for a potential max point here for 39-0.
Oh, my goodness.
Is there any way back for Angry Bird?
It was looking like that one might be his game.
Final round.
I don't know. Both of them have literally opted for Young Form the majority of the time. Again, they've done it. Maybe just Old Form's completely irrelevant in this matchup because you don't want to get overwhelmed by Young Form, I suppose. I don't know. I've never sat down with this mirror match, to be honest.
Jab, jab, shoulder. Gets the pressure afterwards. Angry Bird looking like he's taking a few more risks now. There we go. The far target combo from 39.
Good range. And the buff off the crouch in medium, and he broke all momentum with that grand ban. Angry Bird, all the resources on his side. He's getting very impatient. I know he's very good and known for his offense, but I think he might need to pull the brakes, and then someone was going to do crouch counter slide.
Oh my goodness.
He's dead. That's
he's
a wrap. That's game 3. We're done.
Wow. Angry Bird holds it together, maintains the composure.
Pick your poison, Tyrant. Do you want to get stunned or do you want to die?
Yeah, it's a horrible, horrible situation. It's a lose-lose for the other guy, so...
Do you know what's insane, right? Hopefully he can agree with me on this. His stun output didn't get touched.
His stun output is insane still, yeah. Definitely one of the highest.
But one of the things I was telling it on my streams the other day was, put yourself in Capcom's shoes, right? You've toned down the damage of the game over time. So what's the other option you have left? Bump everyone's health up, bump everyone's stun up. That's it, it's a reverse effect.
Yeah.
Are you gonna tone down the damage again?
It's not easy to deal with. Okay.
Right, let's see what Angry Bird's got now. 39 has been given a run for his money for sure. Look at that pressure, an absolute onslaught. He gets the back throw, luckily. Angry Bird had the right read. Was that a V-reversal or just one of that crush counter? It worked out.
Yep.
Worked out. Stand media kick anti-air.
Wow, interesting.
I rarely see that.
Yeah, it's not a common occurrence.
I think it's better against slow characters like Zangief, but against himself, Might have some sort of positive effect like it did there. Pressure again, and again, he's making it very awkward for 39 to deal with the aerial approach there, Angry Bird. Jumping in, trying to exploit that bad angle. He has, but again, despite all that relentless pressure, 39 made it back on top. He's going to be here, match point, and he went for a boost and flip right off the bat, no dice.
Hey.
It's not looking good for him, Tyrant.
No, it's not at all, man. Angry Bird needs to try and make some magic happen right now. Needs some of that.
Good
Some of that magic he's shown in the previous CPTs.
Yeah, of course. He's got critical up here.
Nice.
Don't think he needs to use it yet.
Whoa, both went for the neutral jump. Like-minded players here.
Again, I'm seeing a lot of jumps, but they're jumping at that extremely horrible angle for young Zeku to do it. I love their music. Wake up, CA. Come on. Are you looking at those flashing games you think they're not going to be used? Come on.
He took the risk. He took the risk.
He's going to get signed after, so he can't. He hasn't got V-Trigger available, so goes for the dash. He burns the V-Trigger 1. I don't think he's going to get another one of those. Activates on Angry Bird's end. He can capitalize. He's trying to go for a throw. No dice. Next hit wins it, by the way. That's right. He's trying to neutral jump. I think 39's got to be a little bit careful. Ooh, Angry Bird didn't finish that just in case. He didn't want to put himself in a bad spot. CA is a threat for him here.
Okay, here we go. Oh, the jump! No, he missed it. Confirm. He missed it. He missed it.
Oh, no. That was terrible. We're not going to find around yet.
Oh, few reversals. Oh, double O's gonna. Oh, the raw slide, Angry Bird.
Whoa.
Takes the risk and it pays off.
Oh my god, that slide is taken to the final round.
It has taken us all to the final round around here. Here we are.
Tyrant, I can't believe he slid.
Sometimes, you know, you gotta ask yourself. Well, we're playing online. Oh my god, the stun.
Angry Bird has got V-Trigger available. He tried to go for the audacious reset. Bad call, sir. You actually might lose the game because you're in young form.
He's no DP. No reversal available here for double O.
Good walk under.
Oh no.
Hang
Okay.
on.
Oh, counter hit. That's he's dead. He's dead.
That was so rude. Well timed. Good decision there. Gonna close it out with a critical art.
Man.
Oh man.
Angry Bird just about stays alive there. And what a sequence from him to close it out. Got the counter hit hard kick. Went onto the stun and just closed out. Doesn't scale as much as a cross counter. So.
Let me tell you how disgusting that situation was. And he knows it as well, and you people at home know it as well. If he'd done the back throw, that potentially was stun.
Yes.
Right? So you had to pick.
Yes.
You had to pick. You're going to get thrown, stunned, CA, or you're going to take this delayed hard kick real quick. And again, doing both of those options at Angry Bird end were not risky at all.
No.
Against young form, not risky at all.
Exactly. He was comfortable. You know, he was chilling there. He had the right character for the right situation. There's, like we said, four potential matchups there.
That's
so.
it. Absolutely crazy. And the thing is, it's like we saw them very persistent with the delayed hard kick effect, and it was back and forth. But again, it's situations like that where the defender just loses it slightly.
Yeah.
But then again, he had to make a choice because it was a guess, and it was like, well, look, the bigger damaging combo won in that scenario.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm not going to tell you, take the grab, because that's 160, 200 stun situation there. And it's like, well, that's it.
And that is going to be our winner's side set for the top 8 tomorrow, guys. So I think all the names there, pretty much we expected to be there. We're going to have Big Bird versus White Ash.
Yep.
And then on the other side, it's going to be Phenom versus Angry Bird. So those guys have definitely played a whole bunch.
Okay. So, all right. We're going to be moving on to the loser side of matches now. We're going to start off with Low High going up against Nerzel82. But before that, I've just been informed we need to go on another esports break, but it's only going to be for a minute. So we need to sort out something, and then we'll be back with you shortly. Thanks for your patience. See you shortly.